The lights are flickering, the static is screaming, and the world of professional wrestling has just been flipped on its head. Welcome to Wrestling Apocalypse. You saw it. I saw it. The entire WWE universe felt the ground shake on Monday Night Raw when that phone rang in Adam Pearce's pocket. For weeks, we've been dissecting the chaos, looking at the grainy footage, and trying to figure out who has the power, the motive, and the absolute audacity to bypass the chain of command and go straight to the general manager during a live broadcast. Well, the games are over. The smoke has cleared. Triple H has finally stepped out of the boardroom and into the light to reveal exactly who was on the other end of that line. And trust me, the answer is going to change the trajectory of the road to WrestleMania forever. Think about the atmosphere in that arena before the call happened. Adam Pearce was standing in the middle of the ring, sweat pouring down his face, trying to maintain some semblance of order in a locker room that is quite literally on fire. The rivalries are peaking, the tensions are at a boiling point, and Pearce looked like a man who was one bad day away from walking out. Then, that distinctive ringtone cut through the boos of the crowd like a serrated knife. Pearce didn't just look annoyed, he looked terrified. He looked like he had seen a ghost. He answered with a trembling hand, whispered a few words, and then went completely pale. He didn't say a word to the fans. He didn't finish the segment. He just dropped the mic and walked to the back. For days, the internet has been a battlefield of theories. Was it a returning legend? Was it a superstar from a rival promotion making the jump? Was it the return of a disgraced authority figure? We've spent hours looking at the call logs, checking flight patterns, and listening to the backstage whispers. But today, the game himself, Triple H, sat down for an exclusive sit-down interview and didn't pull any punches. He looked directly into the camera, with that stoic, calculated expression we've come to know, and he said, Adam Pearce isn't running Raw. He's managing it. There's a difference. And when the real power wants to talk, Adam answers. Triple H revealed that the person on the other end of that phone wasn't just a wrestler. It wasn't a celebrity guest. It was the one person who has been playing a 4D chess game behind the scenes while everyone else was playing checkers. The reveal? It was the final boss mentality personified. It was the person who has been orchestrating the chaos from the shadows, making sure the pieces fell exactly where they needed to be to ensure their own dominance. Triple H confirmed that the call came from someone who is currently not on the active roster but holds a legacy so heavy it crushes anyone who stands under it. Let's talk about the implications of this. When Triple H says someone is above the law, he's talking about a level of influence that bypasses the creative team, bypasses the board of directors, and goes straight to the heart of the product. The fan theories were close, but nobody expected the level of sheer manipulation involved. People were shouting for Shane McMahon, they were screaming for Stone Cold, they were even joking about Vince. But the reality is much more chilling. This call was about control. It was about a hostile takeover that isn't happening with lawyers and contracts, but with fear and leverage. Imagine being Adam Pearce in that moment. You've spent years trying to be the fair guy. You've dealt with the bloodline, you've dealt with the Judgment Day, you've dealt with the Wyatt Six. But when this specific individual calls your personal cell, you realize that your authority is an illusion. Triple H laughed when he was asked if Pearce was in trouble. He said, "Trouble? Adam is in a position where he has to choose between his job and his soul. That is heavy. That is the kind of drama that makes professional wrestling the greatest soap opera on the planet. Why now, though? Why make the call in the middle of Raw? Because this person wanted us to see. They wanted the world to see the moment the mask slipped off the management. It was a power move designed to humiliate Pearce and signal to the locker room that the old guard is back, or perhaps, a new, more ruthless guard is taking over. The dialogue Triple H shared from that call was brief but haunting. One sentence, "Tell them I'm coming, and tell them to clear the path." The energy in the backstage area after that segment was described as paralyzing. Usually, after a big segment, you have wrestlers joking around, producers checking monitors, the usual hustle and bustle. But witnesses say that after Pearce walked through those gorilla position curtains, it was silent. He didn't go to his office. He went straight to his car and left the building. That's not just a storyline beat, that's a man who knows his world is about to end. We have to look at the landscape of Raw right now. It's a Shark Tank. You have Gunther holding down the fort with an iron fist. You have the chaotic neutral of the Wyatt Six lurking in the rafters. You have Seth Rollins and CM Punk circling each other like wounded predators. And now, this mystery caller is the variable that throws the entire equation into the trash. Triple H hinted that this person has history with him, deep, bloody, complicated history. History that involves broken bones and broken promises. Think back to the great reveals in wrestling history. The higher power reveal. The NWO Third Man. This feels like it's in that same vein of industry shifting. Triple H didn't just give us a name, he gave us a warning. He said that what comes next isn't going to be pretty. It's not going to be a welcome back party with streamers and cheers. It's going to be a reckoning. He described the caller as a necessary evil to bring order back to a brand that has become too unpredictable. But wait, there's a twist. Triple H also mentioned that he didn't give the caller permission to contact Pearce. This wasn't a sanctioned move by the TKO Group or the WWE executive staff. This was a rogue move. That adds a whole new layer of intrigue. If the chief content officer didn't authorize it, and the general manager is terrified of it, then who is powerful enough to do it anyway? It points to someone who thinks they own the place. Someone who maybe does own a piece of the place, or someone who has enough dirt on the higher UPS to keep them quiet. The fans in the arena that night were chanting "Who are you?" But they should have been chanting "God help us." Because if Triple H is telling the truth and he looked remarkably honest in that interview, the person coming back isn't looking for a title. They aren't looking for a Hall of Fame induction. They are looking to burn down the house and build a monument to themselves on the ashes. This is the kind of storytelling that keeps us glued to the screen, the kind of narrative that reminds us why we fell in love with this business in the first place. It's about the stakes. It's about the feeling that anything can happen at any second. Let's break down the who. When Triple H talked about the call, he used words like inevitable, legacy, and uncontrollable. There are only a handful of people in the history of this business who fit that description. You think about the icons. You think about the people who can walk into a room and the temperature drops 10 degrees. This isn't just a return, it's an invasion of one. It's a statement that the modern era, for all its athleticism and high-flying action, still bows to the masters of the game. The emotional beat of this whole situation is Adam Pearce. We've seen him be the corporate stooge, we've seen him be the harassed boss, but we've never seen him be broken. The way he looked at that phone, it was like he was looking at a death warrant. If Triple H is the king of kings, then the person on that phone is the one who remembers when the king was just a jester. This is a clash of eras, a clash of philosophies, and it's all centered around a single phone call on a random Monday night in a packed arena. As we move toward the next premium live event, every single eye is going to be on that curtain. Every time a theme song hits, every time the lights go out, the collective breath of the WWE Universe is going to catch in their throats. Is this the moment? Is this when the caller arrives? Triple H has laid the groundwork for a mystery that could last months, or it could explode next week. But one thing is for certain, the Wrestling Apocalypse isn't just a channel name anymore. It's a description of what's coming to the WWE. The drama, the suspense, the sheer cinematic scale of this reveal is why we do what we do. We analyze, we speculate, and we wait. Because in this business, the only thing more powerful than a championship belt is a secret. And Triple H just let the biggest secret of the decade out of the bag. The caller is real. The threat is imminent. And Adam Pearce is just the first victim in what is sure to be a long list of casualties. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the revelation of the century, I want you to think about what this means for your favorite superstars. If this person is as powerful as Triple H suggests, nobody is safe. Not Cody Rhodes, not Roman Reigns, not Rhea Ripley. The hierarchy of power is about to change, and we are all just witnesses to the carnage. If you felt the hair on your arm stand up when you heard about this reveal, then you know you're in the right place. We are going to be here every step of the way, tracking the fallout, watching the shadows, and bringing you the truth that the corporate offices don't want you to hear. This is the heart of the industry. This is the passion of the fans. This is the Wrestling Apocalypse. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the chaos. Make sure you hit that like button if you're as hyped as I am for this return. Drop a comment below with your final guess on who the caller is now that Triple H has given us these clues. Do you think you've figured it out? Don't forget to share this with your crew, and most importantly, subscribe and hit that bell. You don't want to be the last one to know when the world finally ends and the new era begins. Stay loud, stay proud, and keep your eyes on the ring. We'll see you in the next one.